Welcome back, everyone, to our gameplay series of Pure Farming 2018. So we're right here where we left off in episode number 1 here at the greenhouse, and we are ready to purchase this greenhouse. We've still got our worker going. I apologize because, of course, it is nighttime, but I did not want to sleep through the night because we got a worker going, and we want to make sure that he gets to continue his work and we don't lose any time. As I mentioned, the time in this game, actually, even at the standard 1 timing is still very quick. So actually there's a lot of times where we're going to need to slow this down even more, or at least prefer to. So we're going to start off by buying this greenhouse for $15,000. And we have a choice of 3 crops. We're going to start out with tomatoes. And you can see the level 1 capacity of this greenhouse is 40. So let's choose tomatoes. There we go. Now you can see everything is coming online. Okay, excellent. There we go. And you can see everything inside. Unfortunately, we cannot go inside, but you can see the irrigation in place and all of that sort of thing. All right, now we have an option to upgrade it. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Going to cost us $10,000, but hey, we're here to have some fun. Now we have upgraded capacity of 80. So I'll take it. Now you can see it is twice as big as you would expect. So now we need to get busy providing what they need. So you can see growth opportunities and fertilization and water levels. So we need to get busy providing what it needs. Okay, let's go ahead and enter our vehicle. And let's see. F2. Ooh, watch out. The joys of going keyboard and mouse when you're trying to do multiple things at one time. All right, so there's our worker. He's still just working away. And it's going to take him a little while because that implement, while it can do multiple things at one time, it is not exceptionally wide. All right, so now we need, let's go ahead and start off with fertilizer. Okay, and we don't need the type of fertilizer that is currently on the back of our light tractor. We need the bag fertilizer. So we're going to simply pull up to the bags of fertilizer there and press R for fertilizer bags. And how many do we want? I'm trying to remember how many this thing needs. I think 18 is actually perfect and will completely fill it up, but I can't remember. Let's go ahead and get 18. There you can see them in the back of our trailer. Oh, our guy here, he looks like he's got some serious issues trying to get going. Yeah, it's going to take him a minute to work all this out. So we're going to try to get back by. All right, so we've now invested $25,000 into this greenhouse. So we need to provide, we've told it we want to produce tomatoes. But first we need to supply the fertilizer and the water. Okay, there we go. We'll pull up right next to the fertilizer area. And for whatever reason, the option doesn't show up just yet. But I believe if I get out and get back in, all right, come on, show up. I had trouble with this initially. There we go, transfer contents. It took it a while to show up. So now let's transfer that. We have 0 bags and it is at 90% fertilizer. So that's excellent. So we didn't quite have as many as we needed, but that is perfectly fine. 90% will last a good little while. Okay, let's turn our lights back on. We're headed back over to the farm. We still have $94,600 remaining. And again, we've got some more things that I want to do. All right, let's go ahead and leave this right here. We're going to, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's go ahead and use, oh, good gracious, with the stuttering. All right, I don't estimate that we're going to be buying a whole lot in the near future, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and just sort of drive this thing back in here and drop it off. Press T to unload that. There we go. And if I remember correctly, I can use this tractor. There we go. Now, if this tractor were not compatible with this implement, it would have given me a notice there saying that it was not compatible. All right, so now we've got our water tank. We need to find water. So if we zoom back out on the map, we don't actually have any water right in the immediate area, but if I'll zoom out a little bit, you can see we've got water right over there. I'm actually going to hover in that area, press E, and that's going to put a waypoint over here, a marker for us, which is helpful because now it shows up in the bottom left-hand corner on the mini-map and gives us a real good direction that we need to follow. Okay, let's press our lights on. Okay, over here you can see this is the potato storage, and that is where you would get the potato seeds, that pallet right there. Let's see, now how are we going to get to the water? Here we go. So right over to the side of the greenhouse, and we'll simply pull up to the water tank and fill it up, and we'll see how many trips it takes us right now to get that full. So we'll press R to transfer, and you can tell in the bottom right hand corner 1,585 gallons. Alright, so we didn't have to go very far. One of the good things about this map is a lot of stuff is within fairly close reach, and we'll see that even more when we start selling some different products, but yeah, a lot of stuff is very close by, as well as additional locations that are spread out across the map. I also like the fact that we've got some lighting around our main farm area so that it's not completely dark. All right, let's hope we don't get in the way of our worker here, who is working so diligently. One of the things that I will mention that I hope they change along the way, or there is a mod released to adjust, and that is right now there is a current maximum of 5 workers at any one time. And to me, while at the beginning that's going to be perfectly fine for us, the problem that I have with that is 5 workers severely limits the amount of work we can actually do, because, I mean, there's only so much we're going to be able to personally do until we just run out of time. All right, let's go ahead and transfer those contents. So hopefully we get a mod or the developers. All right, that got our water level to 50%, so we're going to need 2 trips for that. Let's actually head this way, and we have a couple of options here. I'm actually going to go this back route. But yeah, a maximum of 5 workers is all you have right now, and I hope they increase that, because, or we get a mod that will take care of that. Oh, and by the way, while I see these, if you notice off to the left here, there are, I believe the game calls them sapphires, that you can collect there. So eventually we'll get down to collecting some of those, but for right now we have other business to attend to. So there are, I believe, 100 of those scattered across the map for you to collect, and I'm sure there's some sort of achievement for doing so, but achievements aren't really my thing. And there you can see one right there, right over here next to the water. There we go. Let's go ahead and transfer, and we'll get our so these water tanks are going to be extremely useful for us, as I mentioned, not only with the greenhouses, but on the fields, and then of course the orchards whenever we branch out a little bit more in that direction. So we're still very much here at the beginning of the game, just getting our footing, buying some equipment, buying our initial investments of fields and in this case greenhouses. But before too long we will be into that grind of not purchasing, but rather doing all of the field work. But we still have $94,500 remaining, so that will be very good. We've still got some more purchasing to do. Alright, you can already see the irrigation is hard at work, irrigating those tomatoes that we've planted. There we go, now some more turn on. And there we go, transfer the contents with R. Alright, so that gets us to 90%. That should be perfectly fine. And you also notice that we are at 7% growth. So again, we're in good shape. Alright, let's go ahead and head down this direction. We are now into day 2. So now I'm wondering, how many times am I going to drive by these sapphires before I decide to stop and pick one of them up? Because I've seen already around, as I move around the map, I've seen several of them. In Farming Sim, that was not something I ever worried about doing. Picking up the, I forgot what they were, like gold coins or whatever they were. That was not something I was ever interested in. I was too much in a hurry to get to the field and get going. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fill this one up, and in fact now we will move over to this greenhouse because we're going to do the same thing here. Okay, let's get out. Let's head over to, this is actually greenhouse number 1. We're going to buy it, and in this one we're going to put peppers. Alright, there we go. Everything being built, signs going up. Okay, building is now complete. Alright, let's walk out of the circle and then come back in, because we're going to do the upgrade as well. Increases the capacity naturally. There we go. There we go. So now we have 2 fully upgraded, and we're going to be in much closer proximity for the water this time. Yikes. More stutters. Alright. Turn the lights back on. Unfortunately, every time I get out of the tractor, it turns those off. There we go. Transfer the contents. And now we are right next to the water tank, so we should have no issue there. Okay, let's fill it up again, and we will head on back. Okay, one of the things I'm going to have to keep an eye out for is the fuel level in our tractors. I am notorious for forgetting to view that, and who knows, we might end up running out of fuel in something because of that. Okay, let's go ahead and fill that up. Alright, so we're good to go on that front. So that takes, should take about 2 days for the contents, now our tomatoes and our peppers, to fully grow and be ready to pick up. And whenever they are ready, they will actually show up. Let's see, let's don't park it inside there, just in case we need to purchase some new things. We'll actually park it right outside. Alright, so now I want to show you a little different way of doing things. So we've got our truck. We know we need fertilizer. Normally the trucks aren't good for a whole lot around the farm, but these trucks will actually allow you to carry the fertilizer bags. Unfortunately, it won't carry near as many. It'll carry half as many as our basic trailer would, but it gives us a chance to finally get in and drive this truck around. So it gives some use, some utility to this thing other than just being a very quick way of getting from A to B. All right, now this is going to drive terribly with the keyboard and mouse, but oh, get over here close. All right, let's try to back in here. There we go, transfer contents. So of course we're going to need multiple trips here, and get our lights on. Woo, look at that cornering ability. Alright, we're going to just make it ahead of our worker. Yikes. We're going to end up having a big crash over here. Alright, more fertilizer bags. And we'll get 9 more of those. So you can see it is quite handy to do some of the other stuff, and it allows us to get some work done without having to purchase another vehicle, another tractor, another trailer, that kind of stuff. So if you're in a pinch and you need something done, then the truck can indeed help out with carrying. The same thing is true whenever we get to the part. There we go. That should be perfectly fine. We're at 90%. So in a couple of days, when the crops are ready, they will actually show up in crates here on this pallet, and we can use the truck for that as well. But of course, that will take forever because it has such a very small, limited capacity. So our worker is moving right along. Let's just get an idea of how much he's got left. Okay, so he's got a little portion there, and you can already see some growth there on the other side, the very beginning. So that's how quickly things happen in the game. So he's got, what, maybe a fourth left, maybe not even that much. Let's go ahead and, ooh, more stutters. Oh, come on now. All right, so let's take a look at the map. So we've got $69,000 remaining. So I've got an idea here. We could go for $50,000 and purchase the solar panels. The solar panels will actually net us about $2,200 a day. It's a little bit over that, actually, but $2,200 a day, which is very good, especially considering the fact that they require zero upkeep. Another option that we have is that we could head down to this section of the map, and we could pick up some wind turbines for $4,500 a piece. Now for $4,500, we're going to get about $200 a day. So the reason I like these is, number one, they don't require anything of us because there's only so many workers we can hire and only so many different places we can be individually with the different equipment to work. So I like the idea of trying to get as much done automatically as we can, because that's what's going to help us grow. So what I think we're going to do is, let's head over. We've gotten a couple of greenhouses now. So we've got one, if I can work on this, we've got one right over here and then another one here. So there's one more over here that we could get. And then we've got the option of some other things. I think what I want to do is go ahead and get started with some renewable energy. So even though this is really close, I'm going to press E just so we can have that marker. And let's go ahead and let's see if I can swing this thing around in here. There we go. No wonder the game hates me so much. I'm constantly swinging things around at high speeds. All right, we're going to try not to get in the way of our tractor. There we go. We'll get by him. And let's see, is he almost done? Okay, yeah, he didn't have all that much left to go. All right, so here we go. Here we are at our location. Of course, you can see it's right next to the second greenhouse that we purchased. Let's hop out, and we'll come right over, and we will purchase this for $50,000. Now, as far as I know, there's no way to upgrade these at the current time, even though it says upgrade level 1, and there you go. But we'll hop back in the circle, and you can see there's nothing there. However, If we press V and go under statistics, if we take a look at greenhouses, you can see this is a list of the crops we have in the greenhouses, our efficiency level so far. Of course, we're not really doing a whole lot right now, but then it gives you a general idea of the level of fertilizer and water within your greenhouses. These are not up to the second accurate, but it gives you a general idea. Okay, it also shows us our workers, our daily cost, our monthly cost so far. There's our maximum worker count of 5. Right now we have 1 active. And where is that 1? Well, we got John on field 3. So a lot of information here. I do like that. But let's go back up to, there we go, renewable energy. So we have 1 solar panel that is owned, and you can see the energy being produced. And if we scroll down a little bit more, there we go, $2,240 per day, and the monthly profit $67,200. So you can see it's going to take us about 3 weeks in order to recoup our purchase price there. So not bad at all. And the way this thing goes in game, as fast as the time moves, it is certainly not going to take very long for that to happen. So we have 19,000 remaining. And at this point, I think I'm going to just hold on to that. Ooh, watch out. Wow, that was close. That was a close call. All right, so we're going to hang on to that because now, woo, watch out. We are going to head over. Tell you what, let's go the scenic route here. Head right across the field, which every farmer loves. Everybody just cringes when they see me do that. All right, so let's come over to our 3rd greenhouse, and we're going to use the final bit of money to purchase it. Now, obviously, we won't have quite enough money to do the full upgrade. All right, there we go. We're going to purchase this for $15,000, and we're going to put cabbage in there. All right, let's get this thing turned around. So we've used up our money. Let's go ahead and go back to the map. I need to get rid of our mark there. But you can keep those marks on there for as long as you want, and we will probably do so here whenever we get to the point of selling some of these items, some of the tomatoes and so on. All right, let's get our truck over here out of the way. Actually gonna put it right back where we got it, next to the car wash. And we're gonna hop back in. Where did I leave it? Where is our light tractor? Where did I drop that thing off to? Where did I put it? Are we gonna have to send out an APB on our light tractor? Where did I put this thing? All right, let's use the search. And devices. Let's see, that is not what we're looking for. Interesting. Very interesting that I missed that. I looked right at that thing and totally missed it. Okay, I tell you what, before we do the water, yeah, I think I'm losing my mind. Let's go ahead and do the fertilizer, because we should be able to take just one swipe at this thing with the fertilizer if we can keep the game from stuttering in the meantime. There we go. Let's go ahead and just do 9 for now, because remember, this one's not fully upgraded. I think 10 is what we need, but I don't want to leave any in the back here for now. Alright, so let's head right over here so we don't have very far to go. And here in just a moment, we're going to be getting a notification that our worker is done. but the amount that we have in there right now is perfectly fine to get the job done, to get us started. You can see that's 90% of the way done. So for now, that's all we've been using this trailer for, but I do plan on also using it for the selling of the products that come out of this very shortly. Okay, so now our worker should be done. Is he done right now? Yes. So he is done. Let's head over to our field so the information will pop up for us. There we go. So plowing, cultivation, and sowing all done. Now we need to fertilize. Okay, let's hop in, and we're going to try not to jackknife this thing too bad. Ooh, watch out. Oh, performance issues are real right now. I'll tell you what, we're going to take this thing over here and just get it out of the way. We got plenty of room over here to do all sorts of things, so let's just bring our implement over and get it out of the way. Alright, so now we need to fertilize. And this is where things get a little bit tricky. And the reason I say tricky is because, let's see if I can do this without running over our water tank. And the reason I say tricky is because what we saw before, come on, let me connect. Am I not close enough? No, I'm not. There we go. We can just run into it. That ought to do it. And the reason it's going to get tricky is because right now you notice that we've got about a third of the field that is already has some growth, and the other 2/3 do not. What I have seen be an issue in my brief playing time in the game is that the worker doesn't like that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hire the worker to take care of this. We're going to get out of his way and let him get started. But the worker does not like it when he goes from the portion of the field that has no growth to the portion of the field that has growth, and he will simply stop right there and not do the entire field. So now we've got him off and running, and he is perfectly good to go so far. Ooh, there we go. Come on back. So he's good to go for now, but we'll see if he indeed completes the entire field or if he doesn't quite make it. All right, so we have no water. So the first thing we need to do is get over here and get some water, because we need to. So let's just go straight back this way, get to the water tank. Yes, there are small issues here and there with the gameplay. For the most part, I'm having a blast with it, though. You know, again, we're going to point out some things as we come along, such as the maximum number of workers and the controller issues. But they're ironing out a lot of things, and then I think mods will be able to take care of a lot of other things that the developers decide not to adjust in the future. And as is the case with really any game of this type, the mods are the lifeblood and the longevity of the game. Without mods, there is limited replayability for the most part. Now, obviously, you can play these games for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours, but if you really want a fresh experience, then the mods really come into play, because you can get not only just new equipment in the game, but also I think we all know about the additional AI functions that you can get from something like Courseplay, which is absolutely amazing. And then also additional maps and so forth. So you can really extend the life of a game with mods, and I'm hoping that to be the case here with this game, because the more good games, good quality games that we have in this genre, the better. Okay, let's go ahead and transfer the contents. All right, that'll get everything up and going. So you can see that filled it up to 100% since we're still at a level 1. Now these crops can start growing, and we are in good shape. And we've done all of that and not had to stray too terribly far from our central area. All right, so now we're going to head back. Ooh, watch out. Screen freezes. Okay, so we'll wait to the end, and now you can see our worker is getting very close to the area that I was talking about on the field, so I'm very interested to see what he does here. We are running low on time for this episode, so this will be the last thing we do, but this is very important, because if he doesn't continue to work, then I'm going to have to manually restart him, and then he should be good to go. Or if worse comes to worse, I can always just finish it myself. But I really want to see what he does here. All right, he looks, yeah, we're in good shape. I think he's going to continue going. So it could just be I started him in just the perfect location to trigger it the previous time, but right now he seems to be doing well. Hopefully I don't jinx him by saying that. But yeah, everything looks good. So in this video, we spent basically the remainder of our money, but we got a lot in return for it. We purchased some solar panels. We purchased a couple of additional greenhouses. We are hard at work with our workers on our first field here as we get started, I will say, in our field work here in the game, and just getting an idea of how everything works, making sure that there's no bugs that keep us from doing certain tasks. I am having a blast so far in this game. I'm really liking the graphics. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. And hopefully over time they'll work out some of these controller issues and performance issues so that the game will get even better. Thank you very much for joining me here in episode 2 of our gameplay series of Pure Farming 2018.